Well, yakadoodle dandy to you. What's up? Uh, how are things going with you? Hopefully well. Hopefully well. Uh-huh. So, here we are. We're yakadoodle doing. Sitting around some dips. Chips with no dips. Yeah. Good to see you. Whoever you are. We're back at a slight intermission. Mm, we're here. You go there. And we're having a great time. Right? Having a good time? No, it's not the Kmart blue light special. No, not. It's Kmart red light special. Really? You know you shouldn't be eating potato chips laying down. You might choke. You might. Mm, I won't. Not even close. You know, one day I swallowed a Volkswagen. I did. You don't believe me? You don't believe I swallowed a Volkswagen? I did. Mm. It was a tiny little car when I was a kid. A little Volkswagen. I was like 3 or 4 years old. And darn, I crapped out a Volkswagen. I did. I swallowed a Volkswagen and crapped one out. So you have to be careful doing that. Being little children, you really don't know. So it is painful to swallow a Volkswagen and crap a Volkswagen out. You know what I mean? This is some good stuff here. Mm, very good. So, how are things? How are things with you? Um, hopefully well. Um, my name is Moose, if you don't know. Perhaps you do know. Are you one of my stalkers? You probably are. Flying around up there. Two of you. You're probably wondering, who's the other one? Who's stalking this big dude? I wonder who it is. There, is that better now? Yes. Sitting in my old van. Land. In the old van. It's the old van. A van near the river, maybe? I don't know. Sometimes I like to drive my van down into the river just for the hell of it. Kind of fun. You know what I mean? Well, you know who I am. YouTube says protect your privacy. What the fuck is privacy? No such thing. The NSA has little insect-looking creatures that are flying around. You think it's a mosquito? No. Say little cyborgic creatures that they've designed cost $1 million for one little mosquito that spies on you. So there's no such thing as privacy. Nah. You think you're protecting your privacy? I don't think so. That's very funny. You just say, look at this guy. He's just showing everything about himself. I have nothing to hide. Not a damn thing. Now there's three of you guys. You're all looking at each other. Who's this gigantic thing here? Seems like he doesn't have a care in the world. Now he's got a red light on. Better for you. Red light is conducive for healing and peacefulness. LED light causes you to want to have war. Incandescent light is good. It's like the sun. Yeah. Well, so the little mosquitoes are telling me who you are. They are. Isn't that interesting? You think it's a mosquito? Nah. You don't see the cock on there? Yes, it's a little cyborg that the NSA has created. That cost $1 million for that guy. Pretty cheap, though, for a cockroach, huh? Oh. You have no privacy. You think you do. I could care less what you're doing in your personal life. However, people that have a lot of money that want to know what you're doing, not necessarily nefariously, in an evil way, they just need to know. Because human beings cannot help themselves being destructive. It's for nature to be destructive. You can't help yourself. I myself, being an extraterrestrial, of course I have a human body, but I am genetically composed with other structural genes. How about an extra chromosome, maybe? Yeah. That's probably about it. Maybe two. Be more accurate. However, AI. What does the pet rock have to do with my conversation? AI. See, one thing I really dislike is AI. Artificial intelligence is a joke. Especially man fucking himself up all the time. An idiot. Someone who keeps the same shit over and over. He gets the same result. He keeps fucking up. I don't know, you tell me. You tell me. Ah, it is he, my grandson. I guess they're ready to go live on YouTube now. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Let's conquer the world, Pinky. I'm ready. I am your moderator. Granddad is ready to fuck the trolls up. But you don't want me to say, you don't want me to use that word, right? The trolls up. That's fine. You want me to tone it down? No problem. I'll do it for you. What do you say? We do it, or we want to go damn right. So what do? I just get another phone and go live. Yeah. And it would be just Thunder Rules 25. Well, of course, that's what I'm never dead. I'm always alive and live, right? So your two old granddads say, welcome to your new world. Man here, my grandson, YouTube says he can go live. What do you say? Oh, shall we fuck some trolls up? There'll be plenty of trolls. They'll be making fun of my grandson just because he's so handsome. I'm probably going to go live. Oh, that's good. Yeah, no problem, buddy. That'd probably be better. Because you get all kinds of damn weirdo trolls that they're not even worth messing with. Hell yeah. Hail Olafur. Olafur, yes. The king of the Kraken. The Kraken king. Game on, trolls. He's excited. He's fucking excited. And his boss will be watching him too, right? Fuck yeah. We will slay the trolls. I will look forward to it. So, I happen to be live streaming. I will take the time, afternoon or so. Good. Right, Olaf? Olaf and I are going to go sailing one day. I don't know how. That's a long way over there. But I'm sure we'll figure something out. I'm sure we will. Yeah. How's the stream? I'm out in the middle of nowhere in a metal steel van. Is the stream okay there, gentlemen? Hopefully so. So we have a troll. We have, let's see, two of you guys. We have a troll flying around somewhere up there. Looks like there is a troll. The Draken will be ready after the storms. Why not before? I would say we sail in the storm like I did with my kayak today or yesterday, Olaf. Hell, if I can do it with a little kayak, imagine what we can do with a 25-foot ship, right? A 25-foot compared to 10-foot. Hell yeah. That's what I say, man. That's what I say. No doubt. No doubt, man. It's a good day today. At what time is it? 12:30. It's early. The Draken. Fuck yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. Down to the drink or onward to Iceland. Down to the drink or onward to Iceland. Yeah. Well, Magnus has not been back since you had a good talking to him. I tried to let him know about, I said, listen, Magnus, you got a good wife, a son, a baby on the way. What the fuck are you doing? Flirting with other women. And I said, your woman could cut your dick off while you're sleeping. Deservedly so for disrespecting her. She will do a Lorena. You know who Lorena Bobbitt is, right? Remember that? The Bobbitt weave, Olaf. Oh, I think it was in the 80s or 90s. Yeah. He is a foolish son of a bitch. Yeah, his wife will find him out. Or he could be pretending to have a wife. I don't know. Um, a lot of pretenders out there. But you can be sure I am not. I am the real thing. I am the real thing. I sweat. I bleed. I eat. I don't drink alcohol. No more. It doesn't. But however, with my friends, I might drink a small amount, and that's it. After that, water or goat's milk. Goat's milk would be good. Yes, goat's milk is really better for you than cow's milk. It is. It is really good for you. Goat cheese and all that stuff. Well, I should not hope so that would not happen, my friend. We will do our best. If there is one thing in my life that, in such a short period of time, I am looking forward to, is meeting you. I would say that if we were together as friends, we could do a lot. We can get a lot done. We would endeavor to find you a perfect woman to extend your lineage. Because even at 60 years old, you're still a young man. You're still a young man, and that's a good thing. And you must keep thinking so, even though your body sometimes tells you, Olaf, that your body wants to give up, but you say, no, I will not give up. It's not an option. Olaf does not give up. The son of Olafur does not give up. He does not. Right? You must never give up. It's not an option. So it was a good day today. I had no one to really see me. It doesn't matter. Whether someone saw me. Oh, I have found English video from Professor Jackson Crawford of your land to explain my bloodline. That I have found English video from Professor Jackson Crawford of your land to explain. Ah, interesting. That's Jackson Crawford. Let me look that up. Hang on a second, my friend. Jackson Crawford. Let's find that out. Jackson Crawford. Who is Jackson Crawford? Let's see. That's going to have to be charged up. No big deal. Let's see how much power I have on this one. I've got a little bit. Let's see what we have here. The Finn, I might be pronouncing it wrong. I'll just say Finnbogi Saga. Oh, that should do it. Jackson Crawford. Jackson Crawford, Finnbogi Saga. Oh, maybe that got
Jackson
it.
Crawford of
Norse mythology. Or does it actually? Here he is right here. Right? Is that him? Uh-huh. So what would it be titled as? Let's see. You have like Hail, Old Norse. Got all kinds of good stuff here. That is the man. Just anything, or shall I just? Let's just pick this just for shit and giggles, shall we?
Hi, I'm Old Norse Specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford. Today on my channel about Norse language and myth, I'm going to inaugurate a new series of Old Norse lessons for people who are trying to learn how to read the language but don't have access to a class or group.
Well, let's go to the community, shall we? That would be even better. Let's do that right now. All right. Is that it?
Hi, I'm Jackson Crawford.
I'm
an Old Norse specialist, previously teaching at several universities and now presenting on YouTube, supported by my generous community of Patreon donors in presenting all manner of topics in Norse language, myth, sagas, runes, etc. for anyone who wants to know about them without an agenda.
Well, let's listen.
Today, I'm going to continue one of my, not exactly patented, but accustomed summaries of an Icelandic saga. A part of the reason why I make these summaries is that people approaching reading these sagas often do so without being ready for how convoluted and weird Old Norse storytelling is from our perspective. And one of the main things is that even in very short stories, there are tons of characters that get introduced in weird times and places. And then sometimes you dwell on some really minor character for a long time, and that distracts the reader. But then you come back to some major character that isn't even dwelled on that long. It can get confusing. So the reason I do these summaries, both on YouTube and previously in my classes, is to make reading them more approachable by breaking them down into their kind of most meaningful, from our storytelling sense,
that would make sense,
parts, so that you can approach their storytelling a little bit better informed and ready. So today I'm looking at the saga of Finnbogi the Strong, Finnboga Saga Rama. And this is a relatively short saga with little in the way of poetry, which is a little bit different. A lot of short sagas are focused on big poet characters like Bjorn or Gunnlaug. And I am going to be dealing probably with a little bit of wind noise, so just be aware of that. I live in a windy place. It's impossible to escape. And just possibly I'm going to get buzzed by the ravens again. All right, so our story starts with a Gothi, or chieftain, judge, local leader in Iceland named Osbjorn. And Osbjorn, like so many leaders of ancient Icelandic society, has left his home in Norway because of the consolidation of power under King Harald Fairhair there. Now, in Iceland, his wife and he have an adult daughter named Thorny, and a guy that Osbjorn doesn't particularly like comes and asks Osbjorn if he can marry his daughter Thorny. Remember, it's the father is going to make that decision for a daughter. Osbjorn refuses, but the next time, when Osbjorn rises up the Althing, right, the national parliament, kind of sneakily allows Thorny to run off with this guy that Osbjorn doesn't like. So Osbjorn comes back really upset with his wife, and the next in pregnancy likely to give birth to her child while he is away at the Althing. And so to punish her for what she did with this other child, he says, you are going to have to expose this child. In Old Norse, he says, skal bera ut þetta barn. One shall, one must This is often how obligatory statements are phrased. Expose this child, carry it out, bear it out. What that means is that the infant is not given a name, it's taken outside and left to die from the elements or from an animal or something like that. A practice of many ancient societies. So he goes away, and his wife, Thorgerður, stays behind. Sure enough, gives birth to a healthy baby boy. So she's very reluctant to expose the child, but she's afraid of her husband, so she takes the child into the interior, the uninhabited, hostile interior of Iceland, and leaves it behind in a cave. But it so happens that near-ish to this cave, there lives her poor foster mother, who is named Sirpa. And you can tell we're supposed to kind of think about this character in terms of her social status, because her name basically means bunny lady. And Sirpa notices this healthy young boy and kind of pulls at her heartstrings. So she takes him home, and she and her husband, Gestur, decide they're going to raise the child, even though Gestur is kind of skeptical about the possibility they're doing that, because he says no one will believe that you are the child's mother because you're very ugly and this is a beautiful, healthy child. This is a very typical thing in the sagas. The Norse are very classist about appearance and good looks. They expect wealthy people to be good looking and poor people to be bad looking. And this is supposed to, make it suspicious when you have the sort of ugly duckling situation, right? Same thing happens in Ragnar Saga with the daughter of Sigurður, the slayer of Fafnir, who is called Krokar Osla. Anyway,
so let me stop it for a moment. I want to ask you a question, Olaf. All right, so I understand this. Now, let's see. All right, you were saying, if I get this straight, you were telling me this story, and I thought it was your real life. Is this like something that you experienced, or should I say experienced in a previous lifetime? Is this what you experienced in a previous lifetime, or do I have it correct? But I don't know. You tell me. Yeah. These are legends. Oh, of your kinfolk. Okay. Oh, now I understand. Very interesting. Legends of your kinfolk. Ah, okay. Some turned story, some true. Okay. Because you mentioned that you and your daughter don't get along, right? And her husband, you've had issues with him. Is that, if I have this correctly, I may have it wrong, but I think that's what you said, um, which is interesting. Ah, okay. And that's I'm sad for that. Unfortunately, these are realities that us and fathers have, like my own daughter, very much. But probably a good thing. I wish her well. I love her. She's my daughter. But yeah, I will not take abuse from anything or anyone. Visible, invisible, slithering, swimming, um, dead, alive, in between, will not disrespect me, as you should neither be disrespected. Let's get on with the story, shall we? I'm going to grab a water, so I'll start it back up. I'll grab a water, but I'm very interested because when I come over there to see my brother Olaf, I want to know more about my brother Olaf and his culture and his ways of life, because I'm truly interested.
Cat culture.
I'll be right back.
The Scree, which is where she found him.
Hell yeah, a million thanks.
This is our hero, by the way. This is the Finnbogi the Mighty of the saga's title. He just does. Now, he grows up in the typical way for a saga hero. He's better than everybody else, and he seems to be twice his age at every age that he reaches. When he's 3, he looks 6. Once he's 6, he looks 12, etc. And he actually frequently attends feasts and such at the home of his real parents, Osbjorn and Thorgerder, because since they're the wealthy landowners in the area, their home is kind of a social center for the area. So one day when he's over there, his mother's brother, his real biological mother's brother, Thorgeir, notices this boy and asks him, who are your parents? And he says, Gester and Sirpa. And Thorgeir just can't believe it because they're too ugly to have a good-looking child like this. So he asks Urðarköttur to go and get his parents. He brings Gester and Sirpa there. Thorgeir asks them, is this really your kid? And they confess, no, we found this baby that was being exposed and took it in. And he says, I wonder who the real mother is. And at that point, his sister Thorgeir confesses that it's her. So Thorgeir says that the right thing to do would be for Osbjorn and Thorgerder to raise their own child and to pay a handsome bounty of sorts to Gester and Sirpa for raising.
Handsome bounty.
And so they do.
Oh, yeah.
So now Urðarköttur is going to live with his parents, and he's going to continue to be a really awesome kid. He's stronger than everybody else, better looking than everybody else.
For those of you that just joined
One
us,
really notable occasion, he drags a shark
we
to
are
shore
looking
that nobody else is strong enough to drag.
something that
When he's 12, he
Olaf posted
single-handedly
in the
kills
community,
a vicious bull in a
so
wrestling
check it
contest.
out.
He does all kinds of rock and roll stuff. But now Urðarköttur is a real night owl, and he stays out a lot later than everybody else. Now, one night he's watching the ocean when he sees a light far out at sea and wonders what it might be. He wakes up his dad Osbjorn, and they look at it and they agree it might be some kind of a distress signal from a ship out there. So Urðarköttur gets some of the men from the farm together in a boat, and they row out there, and they find that indeed it's a sinking ship, and that some of the men in the wreckage had lit a fire to try to get the attention of someone on shore. And it worked. So Urðarköttur and the other farmhands save the guys from the shipwreck who are still alive, and their leader and captain is a man named Finnbogi. Now, Finnbogi does die later on shore. I can't remember why he dies, if he gets sick or something like that. But because Urðarköttur was so generous to him, before he breathes his last breath, he bequeaths all of his property, much of which Urðarköttur recovered from the ship, and his name to Urðarköttur. So now our hero is officially Finnbogi, as the saga is named for him. And I'll come right back and tell you about his adventures with the name that he'll have for the rest of his life after a quick word from my sponsor.
Well, another commercial interruption, but it won't last long. Yeah. Hagapuka. Hagapuka puka puka.
So at 16, our hero, Finnbogi, remember this is previously Urðarköttur, arranges passage on a merchant ship to Norway. He's going to go abroad and prove himself in the typical fashion of young Icelandic men in the sagas. But the ship wrecks off the shore of far northern Norway in Hålogaland, and the only survivor is Finnbogi himself. Now, he is in by a local leader named Borðr, and Borðr tells him, among other things, that in this district of Norway, there is a huge bear that Borðr has outlawed because the bear is such a problem, kills livestock.
Oh, a bear. Fuck yeah.
And he says that the next morning, at some point, not right after Finnbogi gets there, he's going to put together a posse, and they're going to go kill this bear in the cave that it lives in.
I don't need I could do it by myself.
Finnbogi, being the night owl that he is, wakes up that night before the posse is going to go out in the morning to attack this bear, and goes to the cave where he finds the bear is eating sheep that it has, quote unquote, stolen and eaten. And he says to the bear, "Statu upp, Bessie, och råð móti mér. Það heldur til nokkurs en liggja og sauðurslitri þessu." Stand up, Barry. Bessie is like a familiar way of talking to a bear.
That's fine.
Barry. I guess it's what the puppy is to dog, Bessie is to Bjorn.
That's right.
So stand up, Barry, and fight me. That is more worth something than lying on this killed sheep. Well, the bear stands up, looks at him, and then lies back down. Well, Finnbogi takes this as a message, and he says, now, if þeir þykir ek of mjög vopnaður
Oh,
mót þér, þó skal ek því gera. He says, if it seems to you that I am overarmed versus you, then I will do something about that. So he takes off his helmet, sets down his shield, and he continues, Statu nu up ef þú þorir. Stand up if you dare. I've definitely had conversations like this with animals. The bear stands up, shakes its head, and lies back down. And so Finnbogi now says, well, that skilek þú vil at vitsem javen bunir. Now I understand that you want us to be equally armed, equally prepared. So he throws his sword away and he says, Svo skal vera sem þú vil og stað nú upp ef þú hefur það hjarta sem líklegt veri heldur þess kvikmyndis ragast So it'll be as you want. Stand now up if you have a heart that is of the likely kind, right, a bear, rather than that of the animal that is most raga or arger. Raga or arger is the ultimate abuse word in Old Norse. It applies any kind of unmasculine attribute, right? Cowardice, weakness, etc. So now they fight and wrestle. Sure enough, Finnbogi breaks its back. Then he goes home, back to board this place. So in the morning, Finnbogi wakes up with the rest of the Brothers posse. They go to the cave and they find this bear with its back broken. And Borther thinks he knows who did this. He says, I think it was you, Finnbogi. And Finnbogi says, well, it doesn't quote him exactly. He says, Finnbogi segir og biður hann hafa það fyrir satt hann vil. Finnbogi says, and asks him to have it for truth what he wants. So Finnbogi's not going to brag. He's not that kind. Just, yeah, if you think I broke this bear's back, sure. You can believe that. Right? Understated. Well, his next adventure is he agrees to help a passing trader named Olver on his way down to Trondheim. So he tags along on his boat, and the first night, it's a several days journey, they stay in a cave on a small island.
It said, make the truth what you wish. That is true. I do it all the time. People laugh at me, Olaf, but when I say I can sometimes make the weather happen or make it stop, I can do it. Not all the time, but the storm I put in my mind and I propelled it. I didn't get my rainbow like I wanted, but it was close. I had the sunshine. If a few clouds would have moved out of the way and burst a little sunlight on the clouds on the other end, I would have got my rainbow. However, it was damn close enough, right? I had a hell of a lot of fucking fun. That's what I do all the time. Most people don't understand. Who gives a fuck, right? They're just missing out because they think small. It is, Maddie. It's for us to use, and people don't realize that the collective power of but there's more. There's more than one universe. There's more than one dimension. There's more than one just planet. We're not limited. We only limit ourselves. But this is very interesting here. Interesting. I think your culture is pretty interesting. Your history, everything is pretty interesting. It does. And then when you not only use the mind space, you interlink it with your spirit and the spirits of others. Like I have 3 spirits: my spirit, Alan's spirit, my extraterrestrial spirit, Zeltor, and the big God, who's been here for 5 million years. So definitely.
And Olver, for unclear reasons, tries to kill Finnbogi while Finnbogi is making their fire. Well, Finnbogi ends up wrestling him and impaling him on a rock in the cave wall. Oddly enough, his next stop, having heard where Olver is from, is Olver's own home on his own island. He goes
exactly what you're saying.
And he tells Olver's wife, Ingebjorg, that he has been sent by Olver to bring their daughter Ragnhildur to Trondheim, the Norwegian capital at the time where Håkon Jarl was. And as quote-unquote proof, he offers that the daughter had often asked to go and never been allowed, and that is somehow accepted as proof by both of them. So he grabs the daughter Ragnhildur, who's a young woman of about his age apparently, rows over to the island where he killed her dad, tells her that he killed her dad, but he assures her that he will not niðast on her. He will not do something to make himself a Niðingur, a hated man, a man of ill fame, bad reputation. All right. Well, now he does bring her to Trondheim from there with all the loot that her dad had left on the island. Drops her off with some relatives in Trondheim, and then goes before Håkon Jarl, the ruler, and tells him that he has killed Olver. Well, Olver is a servant of Håkon, and Ingebjorg is in fact a close relative of the ruler. So he says that he's going to try to kill Finnbogi, but since Finnbogi has kind of impressed him, he's going to do it in an awesome way. He's not just going to execute him. He says the first, he's going to put him through several tests, right? He's going to kind of movie villain his death. And his first test is going to have to wrestle a blå mother. Now, literal meaning of that would be blue man. Old Norse calls what English calls black in human skin color blue. Now, notice that people who are called black in English are not typically, like black like my hat, right? Just like white, what are called white people in English are not typically, white like a sheet of paper. When languages use colors in classificatory ways, they usually use much more basic terms than would actually apply, right? So white and black skin instead of pink and brown skin. Or the same way with red and white wine rather than, purple and yellow wine. So Old Norse just defaults to blue rather than black, and who can say exactly why? I have some speculations about it in my dissertation about color, if anybody cares. So he wrestles the Blåmother who serves Håkon Jarl, and the Blåmother becomes the next victim of Finnbogi's break his back on a rock trick. Finnbogi's next test is to Røyna Sund, which literally looks like try swimming, but in a Norse context, this means try killing somebody while swimming. And he's not going to fight another man. He's going to fight Håkon's pet bear, who understands commands in Norse. So they swim out into the ocean and wrestle. And along the way, Finnbogi almost is gotten the upper hand by the bear, but then he remembers the knife that his mother gave him that he wears around his neck, and he uses that to stab the bear. And then he does a bunch of swimming and diving tricks to impress everybody back on shore. So in appreciation of his prowess, Håkon accepts him as one of his followers in the place of Olver, who Finnbogi had killed. Now, his next adventure is the Jarl gives him a mission to go to Constantinople and demand payment from a man who owes the Jarl, the ruler of Norway, money. This adventure is chiefly remembered today because of a cool exchange that Finnbogi has with the emperor there. When the emperor, a Christian, asks him, "O hvern truir thu?" Who do you believe in? And Finnbogi replies, "Ek trui o sjálvan mig." I believe in myself. Now, don't get too excited about that. He is not what TV Tropes calls a flat earth atheist. He is what the Icelandic sagas consistently call a godless man, which doesn't mean atheist. It means pagan godless man. It's someone who couldn't have realistically have known about Christianity, or well, he can because of Constantinople, but he can't realistically have been exposed to it in a context in which he'd be converted. But he doesn't believe in the pagan gods. And so his transition to Christianity, if he does get converted eventually, is going to go through a stage where he doesn't believe in the pagan gods. So he doesn't believe in any gods that he knows about, but it doesn't mean that he rejects the idea there could be a god. He's ready to be a Christian is the trope. All right. He goes back to Norway and ends up marrying Ragnhildur Ulf's Dottir. There's a whole weird scene here where they go back to the island where Olver and Ingebjorg and Ragnhildur are from. And the Jarl makes Ingebjorg throw a wedding feast for the guy to be married to a daughter that killed her husband. But but she's so impressed with how handsome Finnbogey is and all the wealth and reputation.
Well, I find it quite fascinating, the lore and the of your country is pretty interesting there, Olaf. Very interesting. Pretty interesting, I say. It is very interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. Well, I would say I probably would learn more being there with you in your country, which would be fascinating. Here, I love my country very much, but our country is young. And now it's just, no matter what, I still love my country very much. It is young, very young, and a lot of going in really the wrong direction, but still we're a good country. Um, no one is perfect. No one is perfect. So I guess you could say that the leaders to be are there for a reason. Um, so the other two of you, whoever's watching, by all means, feel free to go on our channel on the community and see what Olaf posted, which is quite interesting. Very, yes, yes, I know, definitely not. But it seems like if I had to choose at this point, seeing the way things have gone, I truly think that if Biden would have been in office now, it would have been a disaster. I know Trump is colorful, to say the least. He is an aspiring dictator. However, he's crazy enough for the rest of the world to say, shall we fuck with him? Shall we fuck with this crazy guy? He might just grab a hold of that football and press some buttons and figure out the code. We really fuck with this president. So in a way, and I don't agree with tariffs and things like that hurt a lot of people. So you kind of have to weigh the whole situation. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. Mind you, I try to stay out of. I don't really watch the news, but every once in a while, I just don't find. I find it boring. It's not that I don't want to be informed. My heart goes out to people. It goes out to people all the time, but I do it in a different fashion. But yeah, no doubt. Let's look at something else. But that was very interesting. Very interesting. Let's look at what we did today. Let's see what we got going here today. So of course we got Alex there. We got what we're going to be. But yeah, that's a good thing that we do have the freedom to be able to do this here in this crazy country that we live in. A lot of people take it for granted, and that's not good. That's not good at all. Let me go back. Go back and I guess one reason why I do this these live streams, part of the reason is Um, it's kind of a self-reflection, and what else am I going to do, right? I mean, I have really a lot of time on my hands, considering I'm refocusing myself, restructuring myself, literally. So might as well do it, you know. And I admit, I have some interesting language, and I'm an interesting person, I've got to say the least. I'm outlandish. I am not a normal person, and I'm glad that I am not. I don't want to be normal. Never been normal. I've always been the black sheep of the universe, and I like it that way. I like being the black sheep of the universe, so to speak. If you can relate to that, I know you can, Olaf, being the black sheep of the universe, which is interesting, to say the least. So, what time is it over there in your place, there, Olaf? I guess it's. Um, so, I think William is very interested in your culture. He's actually starting to. before you before you came on the stream, he was speaking your language, and I didn't look, and I said, Olaf. Oh, there's Olaf. Ah, okay. Yes, I said there's Olaf, and I saw it was William that said, "Oh, William, it's you." That was funny. That was funny because he was speaking your language. He was putting your words down, and that was very interesting. Yes, he does. He's got a beautiful family, and I find it interesting. He calls himself Lucifer, but that's his belief system. I respect that, and it just shows you the devil can be really a pretty decent person, a pretty decent guy. So rather than the devil you know would be I prefer than the devil I don't know, right? So it's the devil I know. So I'm surprised William hasn't. He must be sleeping or with his wife Renee, and he doesn't have time. I know he likes to. He can't sleep, so he goes into the office and you know. But yeah, yes. The Morning Star. Yeah, he got the short end of the stick, didn't he? However, he's back, right? He's back, so it just shows you that there's a flaw in a lot of organized religions. A lot of stuff that some people really take things too seriously and run with it and screw their whole lives up and screw other people's lives up. No doubt. No doubt. And so, my friend, I think I'm going to call it a night, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Well, of course, today it's early for you, but maybe in a few hours, I'm sure I'll be back to it again. I might go to Starbucks, I might not. It all depends, but I will. And a million thanks to you for being you, Olaf. And we shall conclude this. And yes, my heart goes out to you. And hopefully, I will see you one day. We'll see each other. And that'll be a good day. Be a very good day. Oh. All right, my friend. Love you. Good night.